Welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News today, 7th May 2026. Equivalent Islamic calendar, 20th day of Zulqa'dah, 1447 after Hijrah. I am Hamida Muhammad Idris in the headlines. Ruling APC waives screening requirements for President Tinubu ahead of party primaries. Independent National Electoral Commission alerts security challenges threatens credible polls. Nigerian Army says scores of terrorists and families surrender to Nigerian troops in Northeast. On the international scene, U.S. threatens renewed attacks on Iran over refusal to accept deal to end war. And on the sports updates, Paris Saint-Germain advances into Champions League final. These are more details to be coming to you in the bulletin. Thank you for joining and now the news in details. National Working Committee (NWC) of the All Progressives Congress (APC) has waived screening requirements for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of party presidential primary election. APC NWC disclosed this resolution at its 188th meeting in Abuja. The ruling party, in a statement issued by its spokesperson Felix Morka, said the NWC deemed the president as duly screened in accordance with the constitution of the party for the purpose of participation in the upcoming primary elections. The NWC also noted that Tinubu has received overwhelming endorsement and votes of confidence from critical stakeholders of the party, including the Progressives Governors Forum, the leadership and members of the National Assembly and other organs of the party at the APC National Summit of May 22nd, 2025, and other major statutory events of the party. Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has raised an alarm over the scale of insecurity across different parts of Nigeria poses a major threat to the conduct of free and fair elections. Chairman of the Commission, George Amupitan, made the remark during a visit to the Inspectorate of Police, Tunji Dishu, in Abuja, as preparations intensify for the 2027 general elections. He also said that prevailing security challenges, including violence and threats to electoral processes, could undermine credible polls if not properly addressed. The INEC boss noted that such measures would help identify flashpoints and enable the deployment of strategies to safeguard voters, electoral officials, and the integrity of the process. Amupitan, however, noted that polls slotted for January 16, 2027 presidential and February 6, 2027 governorship and state assemblies requires strong collaboration between INEC and security agencies, particularly the Nigerian police, which leads electoral security operations. The government has brought honorary degree holders prefixing doctor to their names in official and academic or professional usage. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, made this known while briefing State House correspondents on the two memoranda he presented to the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting. He also added that the FEC approved a uniform policy for the award and use of honorary degrees by Nigerian universities. Alausa, who was accompanied by the Minister of State for Education, Svtv Ahmed, said the usage of doctor by people who do not merit it is an abuse of the doctorate degree. The minister also disclosed the establishment of the National Research and Development Fund with an annual allocation of $500 million. National Assembly has queried the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) over weak regulatory oversight, blaming the agency for the persistently poor quality of telecom services across Nigeria. The lawmakers lamented that the NCC had failed to effectively enforce standards that would compel service providers to deliver reliable connectivity, warning that the situation poses risks to lives and property, especially in emergencies. Resolution followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Ahmadu Jaha, who stressed the central role telecommunications now play in Nigeria's economy and daily life, while lamenting the widening gap between subscriber expectation and actual service delivery. He also pointed to recurring issues such as drop calls, poor data speeds, and failed message delivery as evidence of systemic inefficiencies within the sector. The House therefore constituted an ad hoc committee to probe the root causes of poor telecom service delivery and recommended further legislative action. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television. Still to come in the news. Nigerian Army says scores of terrorist families surrender to Nigerian troops in Northeast. U.S. threatens renewed attacks on Iran over refusal to accept deal to end war. On the sport update, Paris Saint-Germain advances into Champions League final. This and more news will be coming to you after this short break. Do stand by. Thank you for coming back from that short break, and now the news continues. About 950 insurgents and their family members have surrendered to Nigerian troops across the Northeast in 2026. The Delta Commander of Operation Hadinkai, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, made this known while speaking to journalists in Maiduguri, saying the figure adds to a growing trend of mass surrenders recorded in recent years. He explained that since 2021, a total of 152,864 insurgents and their families have laid down their arms. Abubakar further explained that many of those who surrendered cited intense military operations, the breakdown of their command structures, and worsening living conditions as key reasons for giving up. The commander also said all those who surrender undergo through thorough screening and interrogation, which helps the military gather useful intelligence for ongoing operations. Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has provided updates on the ongoing trial of Nasir El-Rufai before the Federal High Court, Kaduna, following proceedings held on Wednesday. Wednesday's proceedings came up for the hearing of El-Rufai's motion seeking variation of the bail conditions earlier granted by the court. Ruling on this application, it will be recalled that Anti-Graft Agency had filed a 10-count charge against El-Rufai and Joel Adoga before Justice Ruwan Aikawa of the Federal High Court, Kaduna. The court, however, adjourned the matter today, Thursday, May. Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, SCIA, Saad Abubakar, has refuted claims of a planned Islamization of Nigeria, describing such narratives as decisive and impossible. He stated this at the first triennial meeting of the Nigeria Inter-Religious Council, NIREC, in Abuja, noting that Muslims had no agenda to undermine Christianity, stressing that both faiths were destined by God to coexist peacefully in Nigeria. On his part, camp President Archbishop Daniel Oko described religious literacy as essential for national cohesion in diverse countries like Nigeria. He, however, noted that Nigeria's ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity should be seen as a source of strength rather than division. Moving to the foreign scene, President Donald Trump issued an ultimatum from Iran to accept a ceasefire, though to end the war or face renewed, more intense U.S. bombing in the latest of series of abrupt policy shifts. The U.S. president posted on his Truth Social platform, assuming Iran agrees to give what he has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption. The already legendary epic fury will be at the end. In another development, Iran has launched a new website for the new system set to give in maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, defying the American warnings against attempt to control the strategic waterway. On a sad note, media maverick and philanthropist who founded CNN, a pioneering 24-hour network that revolutionized television news, Ted Turner, died on Wednesday at the age of 87. According to a news release from the Tuna Enterprises, the Ohio-born Atlanta businessman, nicknamed the Mouth of the South for his outspoken nature, built a media empire that encompassed cables, first surpassed station and popular channels for movies and cartoons, plus professional sport teams like the Atlanta Braves. Turner was also an internationally known yachtsman, a philanthropist who founded the United Nations Foundation, an activist who saw the worldwide elimination of nuclear weapons, and a conservationist who became one of the foremost land owners in the United States. He, however, played a crucial role in introducing vision to the American race and even created the Captain Planet cartoon to educate kids about entertainment. Finally, to the sporting scene, Paris Saint-Germain held out Bayern Munich to a 1-1 draw to reach a second straight Champions League final after their 5-4 victory in the first leg of their semi-final, when both sides made for one of the greatest games in the competition's history. Coach Luis Enrique's side got the job done in return at the Allianz Arena. Meanwhile, Ousmane Dembele scored after an counter-attack, and the French champions then set about thwarting their hosts as Bayern nearly failed to score in the game for the first time all season. Harry Kane eventually equalized, but his strike came too late, and a 1-1 draw took Luis Enrique's side through 6-5 on aggregate. Warren Zaïre-Emery was feeling in a right back in the absence of the adjunct Achraf Hakimi, and the France midfielder has been perhaps PSG's player of the season. He has played more minutes than anyone else for them, recovering from a difficult last campaign personally when he was only a bit part member of the side that won the Champions League. Finally on the news, the top stories again. Ruling APC waives screening requirements for President Tinubu ahead of party primaries. Independent National Electoral Commission alert security challenges threatens credible polls. Nigerian Army sees scores of terrorists and families surrender to Nigerian troops in Northeast. On the international scene, U.S. threatens renewed attacks on Iran over refusal to accept deal to end war. And on the sports updates, Paris Saint-Germain advances into Champions League final. On behalf of the production crew led by Ilya Adama-Auta, I am Hamida Muhammad Idris. Thank you for investing your time and staying with the news.